So, alright, well, you kind of see how that's starting to take shape now. Got some landscapes. Now I'm going to, let's see, which one did I want to put here? I wanted to overlay this one right here and do this more of a darker green. And I should probably give this a few minutes to dry here before I put any stencils on it. So it's break time. Okay, this is the hazards of being your own cameraman. This is what I did while the camera was off. I took some thin white paint and airbrushed lightly over this mountain here. You can see I've got drew a little band there that makes it look like a cloud at the top, and actually kind of blends in well with this one, but overall I just kind of misted this thing over to make it look like a mountain in the distance. So that's what I did while the camera was off, and did the same a little bit over here on this little hill I've got here, a little mist. And then what I'm going to do is when I get the other lower hills that'll be in front, more of a darker green color hills here, I'm going to also mist those as well, and just kind of mist the whole thing a little bit in general to imply kind of a hazy day. So and the clouds will kind of recede a little bit into the background, but that's the kind of the effect I want. So because I want this whole thing to be in the background, and then probably, oh, I don't know, over here I'll stencil in a barn and paint in a barn, just show you how to do that, and do a little wheat in front and stuff like that. So anyway, that's what's coming up next, if I can remember to turn the camera on when I do this. So alright, okay, this time I've turned the camera on, I believe. So let's go. Got some green paint mixed up. Make this, spray this hill in. And that's right. Remember the cardinal rule, watch the overspray. So let me go slip this here. Nip that one in the butt. Okay, that one, darn, let's move this over here. Paint I had for this green paint wasn't quite as good quality, so it's causing me some issues here. Working on the fly here with what I got available here at home. I'm finding some of this just isn't quite good. Alright. Yeah, I think that'll work. It's not quite doing as good a job as I hoped, but that's fine. I'll make it work. Get that one in. Go over here. I'm trying to decide if I want to do this one. This one be a little bit like that. Okay. Alright, I'm ready to spray the other mountain in. I decided to tape this up with painter's tape. And you want to use the painter's tape because it's not quite as sticky, and so it won't pull away any of the backdrop that you've already done. I've got a shield here for overspray to watch that. So Yeah, thing is with this green paint, this is actually older paint, so I think it had some lumps in it, so that's why I'm probably having some problems here. So I'll go back over the things that need to watch out for when I'm done. Here, spraying this hill in. This will come in a little bit better. Yeah, I may have thinned this out a little bit too much. I tried to do 50-50, and this was fairly old paint, so so far, things I've learned, and I hope you learned with me, is one, watch the overspray. Two, if you're going to use acrylic, what is this? Just acrylic craft paint, well, artist quality craft paint, then use fresh stuff. You know, one that doesn't have any lumps in it. And, you probably want to use the acrylics designed for airbrushing. So, seeing what I'll do is when this green hills that are in the, oops, get a little closer here, that are in the foreground, I'll go ahead and mist those over with a little white, and that'll cover up, at least hide some of the more obvious flaws in the kind of paint I used. But that's the kind of stuff you can do with airbrushing, and it's coming out pretty slick in spite of some of the mistakes I've made. So anyway, I'll wait until this green dries and touch it up and then mist it over. Then I will go ahead and put it in a barn. So I'll be back. Okay, I've kind of gone ahead and cleaned up these foreground hills a little bit. Now I'm going to just do a little light misting over those. Just like that. So anyway, and then after this, be ready to put the barn in. Okay, I think we're good to go on this. A little bit more. There. I think that'll do her for making this look like a misty landscape. You got the mountain with a suggestion of clouds, and then you have these lower hills that are a little bit closer up front, and then one further in the distance like that, and again here's another hill, all kind of enshrouded in mist, so give a feeling of distance. So anyway, work on getting the stencils ready for the barn and put that in and draw a little wheat, and I think I can wrap this little part of the tutorial up on airbrushing not only clouds but the landscape as well. So I'll be back in a little bit. Okay, this is what I got going here. I've got a stock picture I got from a barn from Printmaster Gold, and basically I'm going to cut my own stencil out for it. So it's fairly easy to do. I'm made multiple copies of it. Probably should have done them in black and white, since I'm just going to be cutting out different parts of it. I mean, first I'm going to cut basically the whole item out, and then cut this stencil out with just the roof and just lay that over and spray over it. Basically just to put the barn together in different layers. I mean, it's going to be a fairly simple structure with some minor detailing with a paintbrush and stuff like that, but it's fairly easy to do and to make your own stencils. So let me go get to work on this. So what I've been doing here is essentially cutting along the roof lines here. I'm leaving off some smaller details. I can probably add those in with a little paintbrush, but for the straight lines, use a straight edge. Just cut along like that. Make sure I'm not cutting too far. That. It's fairly easy to cut the outlines out because it's all laid out there for you in the picture. So this is not too difficult at all.